Hello crafters and stampers. In today's video I have not one, not two, but three alternatives to the July paper pumpkin sending good thoughts, and I'm going to show you exactly what I changed, what I added, and what I used from the kit and how to make these. So if you want to see how to make these alternatives, please keep watching. So this is the July 2022 paper pumpkin kit, sending good thoughts. My box is a little dinged up, which happens, but everything inside is just fine. So when you open your paper pumpkin, in every kit you get a stamp set and an ink spot. This month we get this super cute stamp set with the little boat and some seaweed and a Bermuda Bay ink spot. I will be using the full-size Bermuda Bay ink pad today. I like to save these. I give them away sometimes to new customers. I give them as prizes. They're just fun. I keep them. They're fun to keep, but I have all the full-size ink pads, so I tend not to use them. But they're great if you're building your collection. We also have this celebration flyer reminding you to get your free goodies during celebration. And on the back is a preview of August's kit, Sweet Sunflowers. And in this one, you also get a free gift, and you get 2 ink spots next month. So sign up before August 10th to get it on this one. So then when you open it, it always comes with this beautiful tissue paper, which I always keep because it's great for gifts. So I'm going to move this out of the way and show you what comes in the kit. So this is the Sending Good Thoughts paper pumpkin kit. You get everything included to make 9 cards, and these are the 3 designs, but of course we're going to make them a little bit differently. So for this card I used pretty much everything from the kit. I used all the die cuts. I did make my own die cut out of the Stylish Shapes dies. I used the 4th circle from the inside to cut a fresh freesia die. You do not have to do this. Also, if you have like a punch, a circle punch, that would work as well. That's bigger than the die cut. But let me show you just the other little change I did to this card. So we're going to move this out of the way because I need my paper trimmer. And all I did was take a piece of basic white and I cut it to 5 1/4, which that's already 5 1/4 by 4. You have that little piece off the edge there. And then I took the piece that came with the kit and I cut that down to 5. And I think I want to cut the bottom part because I want most of that fresh freesia there. So I cut that to 5 by 3 3/4. And this will all be up on the blog post. The link is in the description of this video. So then all I did, oops, I took my stamp set with me, is we're going to do some stamping. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stamps from the set, and I'm going to pull in some fresh freesia ink. You could do this all in Bermuda Bay if you'd like. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is put my layer down. So I'm just taking some Stampin' Seal. You can definitely use the mini glue dots that come in the kit. I just like seal. For me, it's easier to work with. So I'm just laying that down. And then we're going to do some stamping. We're going to stamp on that, we're going to stamp on that, and we're going to stamp on that. We're also going to stamp on our card base. Let me move that card out of the way. So first let's stamp on the card base. We'll do all our Bermuda Bay stamping first. So I just took this little seaweed piece, inked it up with my Bermuda Bay, and stamped the inside of the card. And then I took the Wishing You All the Best, ink that up in Bermuda Bay, stamp it on the center of that circle, and then this one is going to get fresh freesia, but I just want to pull that circle out of there. Before I forget, I want to grab one of the envelopes that come in the kit and stamp this cute little seahorse just right there on the flap. How cute is that guy? So I'm going to set that to the side, but I like to keep the envelopes together with it so I don't have to use any of my basic whites. And then I'm going to take these stars, these little starfish looking thing, and I'm just going to stamp randomly on this banner. I'm turning the stamp a little bit as I go. I kind of want to make sure to get all of it. If you have some spots up in the middle, that's okay because we'll be covering it up. I have some spots there, that's fine. I'm trying to not overlap the stars, but I want to get as much coverage as I can. Like I said, turning it just slightly. That looks good. So that's it for the Bermuda Bay. Now I'm going to grab this fresh freesia and my little tag here. Straighten it out, I kind of bent it a little. And can't wait to see you stamp. Ink that up. Perfect. So that is it for stamping. Now all we have to do is put our card together. Now that I've got all my stamps cleaned up and put away, we can put this card together. Before we start assembling though, I'm taking this thread that came with the kit and I'm just going to run it through the hole here on this tag. And I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just going to tie a simple little knot and cut it because I don't want to do too much. There's a lot going on with this card, but I did want to add a little bit of an embellishment there. Let's kind of pull it a little. Perfect. So now we can put everything together. The first thing I'm going to do is I have a regular sized mini glue dots. You definitely can use the ones in the kit. I'm just using these for time purposes. And I'm just going to place them where I can. And even I can take one and like fold it onto itself to make it a bit smaller. I'm not going to put too many. I think I'll just put 2. That's what I put on the last card. And I'm just going to stick it on our banner here. Kind of going that way. See why I said it doesn't really matter about the stars being perfect because you are covering them up. Then I'm going to take a little bit of seal, run it on our circle, that on there, grab some of my dimensionals, and dimensionals do come in this kit. These are the exact same ones. They're just not the ones from the kit, but they're exactly the same. And then I also have some mini dimensionals. These do not come in the kit, but are I love them for little things like this. I'm just going to put 3 on here to prop that up. And then we can put this down to our card base. Just taking some seal, running it along that. Fold our card base over. And then I'm going to take some seal on the back of our banner. And I'm kind of centering this, putting it up towards the top a little. And take the backing off of our dimensionals. Put it up in that corner. And then what I did was take the backing off of the mini dimensionals. And I kind of ran it sideways. Just like that. So that, oh wait, one more thing before I added some of the 2021 to 2023 in color opal rounds in fresh freesia. So there's 2 sizes. I added one of the larger ones there. And then 2 of the smaller ones. Like that. There. Now that card is done. And that is card number 1. Let's move on to card number 2. So for card number 2, I honestly didn't go too far away from the kit. I did switch up where the birds were. I changed the base color. And I stamped a little bit of background here. But let me show you how to make card number 2. So the first thing we're going to do is some stamping. So I have a piece of Pacific Point here, which is cut to 4 1/4 by 2 1/4. Again, all the measurements are on my blog. We're just using the Bermuda Bay. You can definitely use the one that comes with the kit, or if you have the full size. And then I'm using this little netting stamp. And I'm just stamping randomly, trying to get the outside edges because we are covering most of it up. You can overlap this, turn the stamp if you want. You can stamp off. However you want to do it. This is just really quick. Like I said, most of this is getting covered up, so it does not have to be perfect. I like turning the stamp, kind of stamping over some of it, just to get a nice textural effect. And I am going to cover the whole thing just because I'm not quite sure where the bottle is going to land on this, so I want to make sure I don't have any big open gaps. And like I said, stamping over some of it is absolutely fine. You don't want to do too many times, but because it can get kind of muddy. But the really main focus is the edges. So that is done. Now we're going to take the bottle, move that out of the way, and take the bottle and the big ship, and we're going to ink that up in the Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to get it just on the water. I'm not pushing down too hard, just a little bit, enough to make sure I get some pressure there. And now we can stamp our sentiment. I have one of these long banner pieces from the kit, and I am going to use the same stamp. So the Sending Good Thoughts, the same stamp that they use in the example or the instructions. And I'm going to stamp it all the way over to the right, because I am going to put a bird there. And that is it for stamping on this one. Put that away, move my stamps, and let's assemble. So the first thing I want to do is take the twine that comes in the kit, and I'm just going to wrap it around the neck of the bottle. And I'm going to attempt to just tie a basic bow. Now that our bow is cut, we can put everything together. So I have the card base. I'm going to put down our little layer here first. And this is super cute with the clouds and the water. And that's why I went with just a piece that's just larger than the bottle, because I didn't want to cover that up too much. It is a beautiful embossed piece. And then we can put down our bottle. So I used dimensionals on the bottle. 3 should do. And then I just kind of centered it. And then stamp and seal or glue dots, whatever you have. And I did get that on there kind of crooked, but it's okay. It's a handmade card after all. So then I'm going to take this bird, the one with its wings completely spread out, and I'm just going to take a little bit of seal. You can take a glue dot, run it along there, and put him, whoops, and that's what I did the first time that I didn't want to do. Put him on there, but I don't want to cover up the words. I kind of covered up the sending on the example card. It's okay, you can still see it. Put some dimensionals there, and then I ran seal along this seagull and put him kind of covering the ship a little bit. And you can even put him over to the right, wherever you want. And then this down at the bottom. You want to be careful not to go off the edge of your card. Then I'm just going to take a glue dot for this other little seagull. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Try not to stick them to the ship. And put them there. And then to finish the card, I have some of the iridescent pearls, which are beautiful. And I thought they went really well with this card. So I'm just going to add 3. One of the larger ones and then 2 of the smaller ones. And then maybe pull my card base. So like I said, the layer here is a little crooked. It's okay. I was just going kind of quick there. But that is card number 2. So let's move on to card number 3. So for our third card, I thought this, I used most everything from the kit, but I thought this could use a little bit of gold. So let me show you how I made this alternative. So we got everything here from the kit. I'm only using 2 things that are not from the kit. So let's do our stamping first. I'm going to move our card base. We are going to stamp on the bottle, on the star, and on our label here. So all in Bermuda Bay, and we're only using 3 of the stamps from the stamp set. You can use whatever you'd like. So I'm going to start with the scroll. I'm just going to ink up that scroll, stamp it in the center of the bottle. Perfect. And then for the star, I'm going to use that same netting that I used on the last card, and I'm just going to stamp, and I'm going to keep stamping. I want different layers of ink, different levels. So this is called stamping off, and I'm just trying to make sure the whole thing is covered and there aren't any blank spaces. That looks good. Now I'm going to pop out this little circle, and then we can stamp our sentiment. So this one I'm using Thinking of You from that same stamp set, and I'm going a little bit to the right, and that looks good to me. So that is it for stamping. Now, before we put anything down, I want to add a little bit of gold. So I have this gold shimmer ribbon. I'm just going to lay it across there, cut a little piece off, and then I like to take just Scotch tape. You could also use seal or glue dots and adhere it to the back of this. So I'm just wrapping this around, not quite halfway up, and then wrapping it all the way around, making sure it's kind of even. And now we can put this on our card base using a little bit of seal or glue dots. I have nothing against glue dots. I love them. I just find the seal easier for me to work with, and especially when I'm filming a video for you guys, it's faster. So then I'm going to take the larger bottle and run some seal, along that, and I'm just going to slide it under that ribbon, kind of at an angle. And then I'm going to take my glue dots, and I'm going to get one, put it just at the bottom. I'm also going to slide this under. Not really slide it, just kind of put it like that. And then for the rest, everything else is getting dimensional. So I'm just going to put one here on the bottle, one on our star. Then I'm going to grab my minis for the seahorse and our little label here. Take the backing off. I'm putting this over the ribbon, but I again at an angle. And take our little seahorse, and I'm putting it actually on the bottle. Oops, I lost the backing. Well, it lives under the bottle now. There's a dimensional backing living under that bottle. And then I'm just going to take the star, and I'm going to put it over the ribbon, and then our sentiment about there. And then to finish up, I have some of the Brush Metallic Adhesive Back Dots. I'm going to grab my paper piercer and take the smallest gold one and just put it, if you get the seahorse's tail a little bit, that's okay. I'm just going to put it over that hole there. Now we don't have the seahorse's tail. Just for a little bling. And that is card alternative number 3. So here are all 3 of our paper pumpkin alternative cards. I really hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more card making tips, tricks, and ideas, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that little notification bell to get notified every time I upload a video. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.